The Debt of Empires, How Overspending Destroys Superpowers. One. The Empire That Borrowed Too Much. Picture this, the year is 1875. Ottoman officials are staring at a budget that makes no sense. The empire's annual revenue is £21.7 million, but debt payments alone cost £12 million. Half the money collected in taxes is going straight to foreign bankers just to pay interest. 2/3 of all revenue flows out of the empire. They do the math again, it still doesn't work. On October 6, 1875, the Ottoman Empire defaults. The once mighty state that had ruled for 6 centuries stops paying its bills. Within a few years, European creditors seize control of Ottoman tax revenues through the Ottoman Public Debt Administration, a foreign-run institution that takes over the empire's finances. Sovereignty is gone, and collapse soon follows. So what does that actually mean? It means that empires rarely fall in battle, they bleed out on balance sheets. Footnote. This section introduces the Ottoman default of 1875 as a model for how debt dependence erodes national sovereignty. 2. The debt spiral begins. Until the Crimean War of 1854, the Ottomans had never borrowed from foreign banks. But war with Russia was expensive. On August 24, 1854, they took their first loan from European financiers. The lenders? The Rothschild banking houses and their allies in London and Paris. The terms? Brutal, high interest, short deadlines, hidden fees. Every new loan made the next one necessary. By 1875, the empire owed over £200 million, about $24 billion today, with an income of only £21 million. That's a debt-to-revenue ratio of nearly 10 to 1, worse than any modern nation. So what does that actually mean? It means the empire didn't lose a war, it lost to compound interest. Footnote. This section explains how the Ottomans' foreign borrowing created a self-reinforcing cycle of dependency and insolvency. 3. The loss of sovereignty. When the empire defaulted, European creditors didn't sue, they took over. In 1881, they formed the Ottoman Public Debt Administration, OPDA. It was staffed by foreigners who collected Ottoman taxes and sent the money directly to Europe. The empire's economic independence was gone. Meanwhile, capitulations gave European merchants immunity from Ottoman law and taxes. British goods flooded Ottoman markets at tariff rates as low as 3%, crippling local industry. Historian Paul Brock later called this forced free trade the reason for Ottoman deindustrialization. So what does that actually mean? It means debt wasn't just financial, it was colonial. Footnote. The OPTA illustrates how external debt can evolve into foreign control, turning sovereign nations into economic protectorates. 4. The sick man of Europe. By the late 1800s, the empire was collapsing from every direction. Corruption crippled tax collection. Agricultural failures and global recessions cut revenue. Egypt sold its Suez Canal shares to Britain in 1875, and within a decade, Britain occupied Egypt outright. The Ottomans became known as the sick man of Europe, kept alive only to maintain a fragile balance of power. When World War I began, the empire's debt stood at 139 million Turkish pounds. France, Germany, and Britain owned 95% of it. Even after the empire dissolved, its successor, the Republic of Turkey, kept paying. The final Ottoman debt payment was made on May 25, 1954, a century after the first loan. So what does that actually mean? It means debt outlives empires. Footnote. Ottoman debt repayment by modern Turkey demonstrates how financial obligations can persist long after political collapse. 5. The modern parallel. Fast forward to 2025. The United States federal debt stands at $37 trillion, equal to 119% of GDP, Ottoman proportions. The government spends nearly $900 billion a year just on interest, more than defense. Over the next decade, Interest alone will cost $13.8 trillion. Foreign creditors hold $8.5 trillion in U.S. debt. Japan leads, China follows, and Britain, ironically, still lends across the Atlantic. Meanwhile, America spends nearly $900 billion a year on the military and has spent $8 trillion on post-9/11 wars. So what does that actually mean? It means the U.S. isn't collapsing, it's decaying. Slowly. Predictably. Mathematically. Footnote. U.S. fiscal data mirror the Ottoman debt structure, high leverage, foreign creditors, and heavy military expenditure. 6. The Law of Empires. Every empire follows the same four-step arc. 1. Expansion. Borrow to conquer. 2. Euphoria. Borrow to maintain. 3. Dependency. Borrow to survive. 4. Collapse. Borrow no more. The Ottomans hit stage 4 in 1875. Britain reached it after World War II. America, now at stage 3, is borrowing to stay afloat. History's verdict is consistent: when interest payments exceed defense spending, the empire has already begun its descent. So what does that actually mean? It means the real battle isn't fought with armies, it's fought with interest rates. Footnote. This section connects recurring empire debt cycles to structural overreach and fiscal exhaustion. 7. The question for America. The Ottoman Empire's decline wasn't sudden, it was a century-long lesson ignored in real time. The warning signs, foreign creditors, debt dependence, economic stagnation, are flashing again today. The United States still has time, but not infinite time. So what does that actually mean? It means the real threat to American power isn't foreign invasion, it's compound interest with a flag. Footnote. The conclusion frames fiscal policy and debt dependence as the modern analog of imperial decline, urging reflection before collapse.